Welcome back to the vlog and welcome back to another beautiful morning here in Hoskins, Papua New Guinea. My name is Ryan and on today's flight, this is take 2 to head out to Moke. Yesterday I went out there and was unable to land just because the rain was just too heavy. Right over the runway, if you want to watch that, you can click up there at the top of the corner or whatever and watch that video. So let's go ahead and get started and get on our way. It's about a 35-minute flight. All right, ignition on, fuel pump on, and low starter. Energy's coming up over 14%. I'm going to introduce my fuel. As my NGs continue to rise, my ITT is now starting to come up. And now I'm just checking to make sure my NG is passing the 35%. Now I go back up to the ITT and watch the trend of the needle coming up. Now it's coming back down. And my NG's above 56%. The generator, alternator, and aux bus on. Up on, I turn my V2 tracker on so my home base can track me on our computer. Alright, fuel caps, selectors are good, controls are good. We'll leave Betty enabled for now. Switches and instruments. Going out empty, 6 seats. And so my weight right now is 5560. So I'll rotate at 55, and if I have to come back in, 64. So set up my VREF at 64, and rotate at 55. I believe I filed for 6,000 going out. 20 degrees of flaps. Set my trim. All stations Hoskins 127.1, Kodiak November Tango Echo Taxi Hoskins. For Moke, outbound track 253, 6,000. 6622 November Tango Echo Taxi Hoskins, Moke, 1 POB. I'll give them a call in the air. The HF radio here in Papua New Guinea does not work very well. Alright, clear left and right. Got my flight plan in already. There's no wind today, so we're just going to go ahead and take off on runway 12, so I don't have to taxi all the way down there. Trim and abort is, trims are done, abort is if we do need to stop on the runway. If we're not 50 knots past the 1,500 foot marker, and we'll go ahead and abort, full reverse, heavy braking, flaps up, cut off, pull off, shut off if we are going off after takeoff. Pitch for 85, consider EPL, consider feather. 80 knots, full flaps. There's a field ahead, we'll go straight ahead. Pull off and shut off if we do have to touch down. Air emergency button, cracker doors, masters off. Inlet and lights, we're just waiting on my bypass to go out of, had override on, so it wasn't bypass when I started, I just forgot to put it back in the original bypass setting. Alright, ignition inlet and lights done, we'll get our SAR here in a second just to confirm that they did actually hear us. Harnesses, and it's 28 degrees, so 1590, so 1540 for 1590, ignition condition, flaps 20, and fuel and harnesses. Rotate 55. 1540. Airspeed is alive. Here's 50 continuing, and here is the 1,500 foot marker. Come out at 73. It's going to be our best angle of climb, and our ITT's at 740 degrees. At sea level, this thing is, especially when you're light, it's a really fun airplane to take off with. It feels a lot more powerful than it normally does when you're taking off of runways that are 6,000 feet. Alright, go ahead and make my turnout, lower the nose. That way my speed will increase and I can start reducing my flaps over 85 knots. Here's 85, go to 10 degrees of flaps. As the speed's increasing, I'm just releasing a little bit of that right rudder pressure. I have full right rudder trim on right now. Because I'm lazy, I don't really feel like pushing that hard on the rudder. Alright, there's 0 degrees of flaps. We're just going to 6,000 today, so not very high. I'm going to go ahead and set my climb. go ahead and bring our prop back to 2,000 RPM. Our ITT drops down from 740 to 720 automatically when we do bring our prop back. And settles in. I didn't even touch the power lever, and it just sets right at 720 right now because I had it right at 740. And as you can see, we've got a bunch of water out here. The ocean's right there. So I want to stay within glide distance of the coast right here because I don't have a light vest. So what I'm going to do is just kind of follow along the coast as I'm climbing. I'm just passing 2,000 foot now. So I'm going to go ahead and make my call. All stations Hoskins, Kodiak November Tango Echo. Departed Hoskins, outbound track 253, passing 2,000 on climb at 6,000. Orders me 6622 November Tango Echo, departure. November Tango Echo, departed Hoskins, time 5-9er, tracking 253 on climb, not above 6,000, estimating Moke 33.
November Tango Echo, 6,000, air QNH 1011, no travel report.
1011, thank you, November Tango Echo. Alright, now the car is done. Where we're going today is a place called Moke. It is on West New Britain, Papua New Guinea, down towards the end of it. And like I said yesterday, I went out there in the afternoon, which is, it's a hard place to get into pretty much anytime afternoon just because it's kind of butted up right at the bottom of a mountain. And that's really where the rainstorms start, and that's what was happening yesterday is they had rain showers kind of going through, and then light rain, and then heavy rain and light. Anyways, I went out there, and I could get to about 1.7 miles to the field. Every once in a while I could barely see the runway, but it just was not enough visibility, and if I were to have to go into it, I'd be basically all the clouds, low fog, all the way to the trees. I'd be going into rising terrain, so didn't want to do that, so decided, you know what, there's always tomorrow. It's always a nice day the next day, and it is. It's beautiful out today. I had a good weather report this morning. It's 7 o'clock now. I have a pretty decent sized day today. Out there and back. It's a half-hour flight out here, half-hour back. Then I can fly back to Grug, which is 2 hours, and then I have another hour and a half rounder for 3 other places I have to go today. So hopefully I should be able to finish by 2 or 2:30, I'm thinking, if I got started at 7. So anyways, this place that we're going to today, if we didn't have an airplane, it would take 4 days to get there. So where I started in Hoskins, it would take a day of travel by a truck for, I think, I want to say 6 to 8 hours up to the coast, where they can take a boat for a 9-hour boat ride up the coast, and then a 2-day hike into where we're going. So that's why aviation is still used. Whoops, I have my altitude select on. There's 6,000, going back down. Right, once our speed is over 130, I bring my torque back to 1250 from my cruise torque. As you can see, all those volcanoes out here, they're all active volcanoes. I mean, like the one that you can see that's all kind of brown, that one just kind of just steams a little bit during the day, and then it also has a really nasty sulfury smell. So it always smells like rotten eggs or someone farted as you fly by. So, but yeah, most of these, obviously all the big peaks around PNG, especially out here in West New Britain, are active volcanoes. At the end of the island, there's some that are actually just continually smoking. On the other end, we had one erupt last year where the eruption went all the way up to like 60,000 feet. So pretty impressive. And I did a flyover of one of the volcanoes in one of my videos. If you want to check that, you can check it out up here. And you know, look actually down right in the very top of it. It's pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what I do for my top of descent. It lets me know when I need to start my descent. So if you come here to the flight plan page, the cursor here, and then scroll over to your altitude select, you can select whatever circuit elevation you want. So this field's at 1,000 feet, so I'm going to do 2,000 feet there, hit enter, and then, whoops, then scroll on down to my vertical speed target. Typically go down around 800 feet, because if I hit 800 here, it typically equates to around 900 feet on the plane, which gives you a nice descent rate at about 162 knots. So our VMO, the max speed in this, VMO, which is max operating speed, I believe is what it stands for, is 182. So 162 is just a nice speed to come in. Gives you some margin if you're not paying attention, or if you start hitting some heavy turbulence as you're coming in. A lot of times where we come in, we're coming in over top of mountain ridges and stuff where there is a lot of turbulence. So keeping it at 160 for myself is what I like, just so I have an ability to quickly pull the power lever and slow down really quick. So we're still about 20 minutes out from where we're going, but I'm going to go ahead and brief my strip chart with you guys and show you what we use. We actually use ForeFlight, so let's go ahead and bring up the Moke airstrip. So the elevation is 1,000 feet, so like I already did my descent rate down to 2,000 feet. It says it's a 4% slope, but the actual touchdown zone, which is about 3/4 of the runway, is just 2%, so it's a pretty flat runway. It did rain quite heavy and a lot yesterday, so I'll just be aware that it probably will be a little bit slippery today. I can land with a 4-knot tailwind with full weight, but like I said, I'm empty, and this early in the morning there probably won't be any wind, but maybe a knot at most. 565 meters long and 25 meters wide. So it's a left-hand pattern, and committal is just short final if we do need to go around. We'll cover it again when we get closer, but it's just power up. Pitch for 73 knots, left-hand turn out, reset our torque to 740 on the ITT just to get our max performance for the climb out. And that's that. Hey, for those of you who are sim flyers at home and you're interested in actually reenacting some of these flights that I do, I post not all of them, but I post some of these flights that I do on my Patreon page, where I give you like the weather, where I'm going, and we're actually trying to even get some of the actual airstrips recreated for like X-planes, so you can download the file and actually fly to that specific place and land there. So if that's something you're interested in, check the link out down below or in my Abouts page. And also, I also post like on-the-ground exclusive content. When I land these places, I do little short videos, take the drone around. If there's something unique, I went to one last week that had some World War II airplanes that were crashed there, film those and stuff. So it's just cool kind of extra content that I'm not posting here on YouTube. So if you are interested, check that out. Well, we are 35 miles out, about 13 minutes to run, and I'm basically heading right where all those clouds are. About an hour ago, it was clear. They could see the stars, and I guess that was about an hour and a half ago when I got the weather report. But it was clear and beautiful. I'm hoping that those cloud bases, they look like they're pretty low, like less than 1,000 feet. So I'm hoping that I don't have another weather turn back. It's very rare. I mean, only a few times a year do I actually have a weather turn back, because typically we get a pretty decent weather report. Again, this was an hour and a half ago. I had to wait for the fuel guy to actually show up. So it kind of set me back about a half hour. So yeah, I'm really kind of hoping that we can get underneath that layer, or at least hopefully it's workable enough that we can wiggle our way up in there and get this flight done so I can head back home today. I've been out here in Hoskins for a week, waiting to pick up these guys out here, so yeah, we'll see. All right, one thing I'm gonna do is, as I get closer, I'm going to set up my OBS, but I'm gonna go ahead and set up my minimums, put it on Barrow, and then put it at 1,500 feet. And what that does is it will just say minimums over the radio, or my headset, when I get to 500 feet above my touchdown zone. And that way, it's just a nice little auditory reminder that, especially if it is kind of scuzzy clouds and your eyes are outside a lot, you're not paying attention a lot in here at your altitude, it's just a nice little reminder to say, hey, you're at your 500 feet, just be aware of that. I'm going to go ahead and check my auxiliary page for my estimated landing weight. So right now we're at 5,400 pounds. I've got about 7 more minutes, so I've got about 100 pounds, not quite 100 pounds, I've got about 50 pounds of burn before. So on our landing chart down here, 5,400, our approach speed is going to be 63 knots, so I'm going to set my VREF up at 63. My fuel is just about evened out, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Check my brakes, those look good. And turn off Eddie, so we can actually land without her yelling at us. And so, actually, as I'm getting closer, it looks like the clouds are spread out a little bit more, so it looks like we should be able to get down underneath of them. It does look like they are at probably 100 to 200 feet off the ground at most. So hopefully there's enough room for us to maneuver and get in safely today. So our lights and inlet, we're 15 miles out. I'm just going to go ahead and flip them on now. Landing light on, pulse light on. And we're pretty much top of descent, below 140 knots. I'm going to go ahead and put my bypass, or my inertia separator in a bypass. If we do need to go around, we already talked about it, but if I do need to go around, it's really short, late final, power
vertical track.
Pitch for 73, left hand turn out, reset torque to 740, and maneuver is required. Buddy letting us know it's time to go down, so I said 800 feet. What I like to do is set it up about 200 feet less, so I have it at 600 right now, and as it pitches over, it just like flies right through whatever you set it up as, usually about 200 feet. And then once I get to my desired, then I do it 2 more clicks after I'm at that attitude of that I actually want. Oh, we have prop and harness to go. I'll do my harness. We'll do our search and rescue here shortly as we get closer to the circuit. And we're on nav right now. Once we get, oops, there we go. Once we get closer, I'm going to go ahead and set up my OBS. Actually, I can probably do that right now. Put it on heading mode, hit OBS, and set up my runway heading here at 340. And what that does here is you can see a big line across the screen. That just gives me a nice indication. Yesterday it was extremely helpful because I couldn't see the runway. It was in fog and rain. And what I could do is basically, it still gives you all the little magenta boxes, and it basically just draws a line of boxes. So you can line up with that and go, okay, I am right on the runway heading, and I can't see anything. So when it is poor visibility, or if it's down in the jungle and there's trees all around it and you can't see it, it gives you a nice indication of where the actual runway is at all times. All right, we're 10 miles out. All stations, Smoke 127.1, Kodiak November Tango Echo 10 miles to the east, passing 4,800 on descent. Circuit time, Moke 29er. Actually, now that I'm getting down here, it looks like the clouds are a little bit higher up. Some of them are down probably 200 feet, but some of them are all up maybe around 500 feet. So it's looking more hopeful the closer we get. One thing here I've learned real quick is just because the clouds look ominous and terrible from far away, they can be completely different by the time you actually get to where you want to go. And you might find 9 times out of 10, I think, is you can just wiggle your way through some way around the clouds usually. But again, there's sometimes you just can't. All right, I'm gonna go ahead on over here, see if I can't get under this area right here. I go ahead and increase my descent and put my altitude selector bug at 2,000 feet, which is my pattern altitude. It gives a nice little cyan arch right there. It shows me when I'm going to get to that altitude. So I'm just going to try to jump under these clouds quickly and get it set up for a pattern, hopefully. Warsby 6622 November Tango Echo. In the circuit, Moke, report after landing.
Tango Echo.
Right, I'm just letting them know that I'm here, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to land yet, so I'm just saying I'll report after landing. A lot of times I'll just cancel in the air because it's hard to get a hold of them on the ground, but it's going to be a quick turnaround anyways, so even if I'm not able to get a hold of them on the ground, I'll be back off the ground in just a few more minutes anyways. Alright, we're approaching 1,000 feet, we're 2,400 now, still descending. Looks like there is pretty decent, there's like some ground fog on some of the trees. Looks like maybe a little bit of rain up there potentially. Oh, but I can see the runway. Awesome. Alright, there's our pattern altitude. Looks like a little bit of rain where you'd normally be going on downwind. Looks like rain. Hard to tell this early in the morning. Alright, start to go, prop and harness. We'll go ahead and push our prop forward now. Flaps to go, below 138, we'll go 10 degrees of flap. That does look like a little bit of rain right there. What I'm going to do is I'll just do a right-hand pattern instead of a left because it's nice here. I'm 1,800 feet right now, so I'm 800 feet above field, but the clouds kind of go down over there, and I think I don't really feel like going through rain right this minute on my downwind. All right, 20 degrees of flaps. Go 180 here before we go into these clouds. All right, turning final 500, or correction 1,500, with 300 feet to go. Now what I can do, because I set up my OBS, I can line up right on. I line here and I know that I'm parallel with the runway. So I'm at beam the numbers right this minute. I go out 1.6 nautical miles before I turn my base. Alright, we've got last to go is just flaps, and we'll cancel SAR on the ground. Alright, we went 63 knots on final, so I need to start slowing down. Looking for 83 knots on my base. There's 1,500. A little bit of clouds, so I'm just going to hold my altitude and just start slowing down. 73 actually on base, not 83. There's 1.6 turning base, there's 73 knots. I'll hold this altitude till I turn final.
Minimums.
Here's our minimums. Actually, I'm going to have to go down a little bit more because there's some clouds right here. And full flaps checklist complete. I kind of do a little bit of an oblique final just because there's rain on the final. 10 knots of wind off of our left.
500.
Let's drop it down to 7 knots. It looks like rain, but now that I'm getting into it, I think it's just like a mist, not even really a rain. Right there's 64 knots, going to 63 knots. Potentially slippery, it looks pretty wet. No, it's nice and firm. Alright, low idle. This is Moke here. There's a lot of ruts and stuff every once in a while from pigs, but today it's not too bad. It is still kind of a little bit rough. Anyways, I'm just picking up a couple guys here, heading back to Hoskins. If you guys enjoyed that flight, give this video a thumbs up. It definitely does help my channel grow. And consider subscribing if you do like this kind of content. I put out videos every single Saturday and some Wednesdays as well, depending on how much time I actually have to edit the videos. So thank you for taking the time to watch, and have a great day. All right, shut off our lights, aux pump, aux bus, generator, alternator, RV2, make sure our idle's all the way back. Shut it off, below 38%, go ahead and feather it, and then I shut off the fuel that is on the top of the hill, whatever way we're leaning. All right guys, again, thank you for taking the time to watch, and have a great one.